extremely aggressive, and it's going to be extremely confrontational. Like, how are you fulfilling the mission of law enforcement? To praise those who are doing the right thing and to crush those who are doing it.
Can you please kill me? Dude, I would beat the pants off of a robot.
Why we're so passionate about putting out there in front of people these officers who are doing their job and then have charges dropped on them. Diversity, equity, inclusion, except if you're a white male.
No, he's trying to suck it.
My name is Chewy and I love math. Dude, praise good, crush evil, chase truth. That's what we try to do on this podcast.
Anthony.
Gary,
Good to see you, buddy.
what's going on?
Happy day, dude. Happy day.
You almost said, good morning,
Good afternoon.
good evening, and good night.
night.
All right, this episode is over.
We did it.
We did it.
Oh, man.
No, this is season 2, episode 18. I'm
18.
Anthony.
I'm Gary.
This is Gary. And we're coming to you from the basement studio. Thanks for coming over, Gary.
Dude, I don't really have a choice. It's time to record. You know what I mean? It's time to put some media out there.
I guess.
Put our voices out there and our
You're-
faces.
You're looking mean, lean,
Dude,
fighting machine.
I did a 96-hour fast. It wasn't a spiritual fast. If it was a spiritual fast, I wouldn't be talking about it. I wouldn't be talking about it because that's not how you're supposed to fast. But
Right.
yeah, 96 hours, 4 full days.
One thing about you that I always marvel is when you set your mind to something,
Yeah.
you can go next level.
All in, dude.
You can go next level
All in.
when you decide to do something. Now it takes you, I feel like it sometimes takes you a while to get to that point.
Yeah.
But once you get to that point, because you've been talking about, I need to like start working out, I need to lose a little weight, you know, this and that.
Yeah, my clothes are fitting a little tight.
You say stuff like that. My clothes are,
Yeah.
I'm so out of shape. But you were talking about that for
Oh,
months.
months, dude, months.
But then,
Yeah, since the summer, because the summer I was like, man, I look terrible. Like,
we went to the cabin together.
yeah, and you're like making fun of me, and I'm like, dude, come on, man.
and then
That's usually what gets it is someone making fun of me for the way I look.
did
and
I
then
make
I'm like,
fun of you?
Yeah.
What did I say?
I don't know, but it hurt my feeling. And then, so that's been like on my mind. And then 4 weeks ago, I did a 3-day fast
Okay.
and dropped 10 pounds almost immediately. Kept it off just by eating how I normally eat.
Okay.
Like no carbs. And then, this past week I did four full days.
So a little positive peer pressure.
And then I read on the interwebs that like you should only do a real long fast like twice a year, and I did it in a month. So
yeah, well, it's like anything else. There's so much out there.
It's
Some people
science.
say fasting is good. It helps you clear toxins out of your body. It resets your system. Other
like your
people
cells
says,
like regenerate,
Yeah.
like all kinds of weird stuff. What's it called? Like astrophy or astro?
Yeah,
it's
something.
not astrophy, but it's something.
not,
It starts
yeah.
with an A, I believe.
starts with an A.
Yeah.
But then other people say, no, it puts a lot of stress on your system
Yeah.
and you shouldn't do it. So I don't know. I used to be a big intermittent fasting guy.
Yeah.
But now that You've
been crushing the weight, like
I've been really working
Yeah.
out consistently 3 to 4 times a week,
right.
Throwing some kettlebells around. And I have not
Yeah.
been doing any intermittent fasting because I was on that for years.
Yeah.
I was on
So
that
I'll
for
do
years.
like 24-hour fast now, just dinner to dinner,
Okay.
for the next long while till I get to my goal.
Okay.
I started at 225.
Okay.
I think I'm at 208 right now. I'm probably a little lower than that.
Beast.
Yeah.
Beast.
I try not to weigh myself all the time because like that's
Yeah.
so like, I mean, and I'm pounding water, like absolutely
Right.
pounding, and put some salt in it just to keep the electrolytes in.
Right.
So just black coffee and water. That's literally
Just weigh yourself in the mornings.
no.
That's the best time to weigh yourself.
Dude, I'm mid-afternoon.
Oh, really?
Like mid-afternoon, early evening, I'm the lowest.
Okay.
It's super weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah, I don't know because I'm dehydrated then. Like even though I've been pounding water, I think I'm more dehydrated then because I'm like doing stuff, working or whatever. So
Well, either way,
Anyway,
it's impressive.
96
It's
hours,
impressive.
dude. It was fun. If anybody wants to do one with me, I'll do another one. at some point. Dude. It's like a mind game, dude. It's a hard thing. It's more of a mind game, I think, than a physical thing.
Well,
because,
a lot of things are.
Yeah, like it's basically your mind and your belly is telling you to eat, and you have to like dig deep and say, "You're not in charge of me. Like I'm in charge of me."
Right.
You know what I mean? And like it's me.
My body, my choice.
That is not what I'm saying. No, that's not what I'm saying. But like you get the urges, but like you don't have to eat, man. Like,
right.
Dude, there are so many people that like can go without eating for a really long time.
Well, and if you go back to like our ancestors years and years ago, that's really.
I mean, we're not talking cavemen.
No, but I'm talking like
hunters and gatherers.
Yeah.
Before there was like processed food.
Before you could walk into a giant.
Where you had to go kill your own food.
You had to go kill, grow, cultivate and get your own food. So people didn't eat like they eat now. You couldn't just go in a grocery store and buy something. You had to go
or a gas station and stuff your face with chips and beef jerky, sodas, anything you want.
Like we're constantly consuming.
Yeah.
We're constantly consuming.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it probably isn't bad for your system because it's how God created it. Back before there were stores and places you could go, that's how you operated. You would maybe go a whole day without eating until you shot something to eat or could find something.
Or days.
Yeah.
So,
anyways.
Dude, and the mind clarity was wild.
That's another.
So it's like super weird. Like you become more focused. Like, I mean, I actually went to the range after 3 days and I was shooting and I thought I was like, man, I better bring something just in case I get like the shakes or if I'm feeling like weak or whatever. I felt good and I shot real good too. I was like,
were you so dialed in you could see the bullet going down?
Dude, I watched it literally. I could see the slide coming back and the smoke coming out of the barrel and the bullet just hitting exactly where
Neo.
it was.
You're like
yes, everything was
like,
slow-mo.
why don't you guys shoot at me and then I'll just
dodge these bullets. No, dude, it was fun. It was fun. I'm looking forward to the next one.
So like when is the next one?
I don't know. I think I'm going to see how the weight drops off. I think it's going to keep dropping because I think you get in a mode where your body's like burning fat.
Right.
Which is what I need.
Yeah.
I don't know any of this to be true. It just worked for me before. I did this like 10 years ago or whatever.
Right.
Not these long fasts, but like really watching what I eat.
Yeah.
But anyway,
good.
It was fun. That means nothing about what the show's about.
No. We're not going to be talking about fasting and dropping weight on this show. You can go find some female show somewhere to listen about that. But
although they just listened to 10 minutes of us bloviating about fasting.
No, we want to talk about two murders at the hands of career criminals.
Yeah, so I absolutely hate that we have that word.
So
phrase.
Let's get back to that. But we're definitely going to talk about the two murders. We want to talk about Kansas City PD is starting to patrol around with their blue lights on.
I love it, dude.
And maybe some follow up on our episode that we did last week or 2 weeks ago, our last episode on the Charlie Kirk assassination. Very popular show, and I thought maybe it would be cool to touch back on that. But yeah, so career criminal. I've started thinking about this term recently, and I saw someone said something about, think about that. We have a term, it's called career criminal. And I started thinking about that. Obviously, you've been thinking about it.
Yeah.
What?
It is an oxymoron. It's an injustice is what it is.
Right.
Like, we shouldn't live in a world where that is even a thing.
Right.
There shouldn't be career criminals. They should be locked up or it should be capital punishment.
Yeah.
Like, you can't live in a world of people doing people committing crimes as a career. Like, literally, career means like something you do as a life, like as
a lifestyle.
Like it's your life. It's your life goal. It's your life it's your how you make money. It's
what you work at.
It's like who you are.
Right.
Yeah.
It's what you work at.
Yeah. What you work at, what you go after, what you're pursuing. And if it's criminal, like, you don't belong in society.
Right.
You don't.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such an interesting, like, when you think about it, we shouldn't even have a term like that. It should not be.
And we didn't. We didn't have a term like that
Yeah, I don't know
for
when
years.
I don't know when career criminal became a term or terminology.
I mean, yeah, probably the last 10 years. I wouldn't think much more than that.
It's probably been longer than that, don't you think?
I don't know,
Career
dude.
criminal?
Check AI, dude. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
I would have thought it would have sparked something in my mind when I first heard it, because it's a wild term.
it is a wild term.
You're doing it. You're clickety clacking away. Yeah. I don't like. It's just not. It's not. It's so abnormal, and it makes no sense.
It appeared in the 1930s.
Really?
Yeah.
That long ago?
Yeah.
That's
Our early
interesting.
use was 1930s as a descriptive term for repeat offenders. Rise to prominence in the 70s and 80s.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so the 30s is probably like your mobs. It's probably like your Italian mafias. You know, the
Right.
all the stuff happening in New York where you're basically a mobster and you're just
Yeah.
sending your people out to do your dirty work.
Yeah. It's wild to me that we hey, what's your career? What do you do for a living? I'm a criminal.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah, it should be, the follow-up should be, okay, come here. Grab him up, take him to jail.
Yeah.
That's what should happen. It's absolutely insane that we have that term.
It reminds me of being in front of a judge one time, and this was like a simple like traffic or summary citation. This was not a major crime, but it made me think, because the judge asked this guy, what do you do for a living? And my defendant goes, well, to be honest, Your Honor, I don't do anything for a living. I'm like, wait, what? That was his answer to the judge. And in this case, they're not doing anything for a living except commit crime. Right. That's all they're doing.
And like they say, like these people that have 35 felonies and they commit something heinous that now they're known.
Right.
That's 35 things that they got caught for.
Right.
Like, how many crimes did they commit that they haven't been caught for?
Yes.
It's probably triple.
That's a good point.
It's triple that. At least triple that.
Right.
Like a career, that's all they do. Like, that's what you're saying. That's what they do. I just commit crimes. I literally walk around, drive around, do whatever I want, get free money from the government for sure.
Yep.
And just
SSI,
do whatever I want.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Claim I have a mental illness, and maybe they do have a mental illness, but you're still responsible for your actions.
Yeah, and we'll get into that, but it's crazy to me how many people I interacted with, and still interact with, that are getting SSI for disabilities. Like, I remember talking to one guy on the street. Now, I'm not saying he was a career criminal, but he was obviously engaged in criminal activity because I was interacting with him, and he was on Social Security for Social Security disability, and I'm like, you're like 20 years old. What are you getting Social Security disability for? Do you know how hard it is to get that? For actual people who are disabled to get that? It's extremely hard. And this guy's like, oh, I get nervous. I'm like, dude, I'm nervous every day. Well, I have a stutter. I had one guy tell me one time, I have a stuttering problem. I'm like, I've been talking to you for 10 minutes. You haven't stuttered once.
Yeah.
And they're getting money from the government.
Dude, I arrested a drug dealer one time on bike. So he was riding bike around. I knew this guy. And he was riding around on bike just selling dope. And I wound up picking him up for a felony or whatever. And I go, like, what do you do? He goes, I'm on SSI. I go, why are you on SSI? And he was young too. Like, he was young.
I'm on SSI. That's what I do.
I go, why are you on SSI? He goes, I have back pain. I go, you have back pain and you ride a bike around all day long slinging dope. Mm-hmm. And dude, it infuriates me, dude.
Yeah.
And literally they get signed up by their mom, usually, because it's a fatherless family most of the time. They get signed up by their mom so the family gets more money.
Yeah.
That's literally what happens. And back pain? Like, how many people actually have back pain that can't get SSI, but you just, like, you can't even, like, diagnose back pain. It's like, oh, my back hurts.
This is why cops are so jaded. We literally, everyone we come across is trying to figure out a way.
Almost everyone, yeah.
Almost everyone that we come across is trying to figure out a way to cheat the system out of money.
Which is trying to help the people who are actually in need.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so many of these, especially in the city when I worked in the city, like, so many of these women had multiple kids to multiple baby daddies, and it was a way for them to get more money.
Sure.
Because they got more money from the government for every kid they had. And it's that system, the welfare system. I don't want to talk about that. That's not what we want to talk about. But that system is so broken. And so when I see people say like that, you can't make people take drug tests to get disability or get SSI or get welfare. Yeah, you can, and you should. Because if you're gonna be pumping your system full of poison and then expect the government to pay you so you can keep your habit going, yeah, I got a problem with that, because there's a bunch of people standing in line that can't get it. I've had family members that have tried to get Social Security disability, haven't been able to get it,
right?
And then been asked questions about their race and ethnicity in the process. Like, give me a break, No,
you're real mad about that. I like it.
I don't know. You got me fired up. But anyways, I wanted to talk about 2 murders that came across my radar and your radar. I don't know if I put them on your radar, but probably not.
Well, let's end the mystery here, Anthony.
So the first one is this Iryna Zarutska.
Yeah. So that one everybody's seen.
Yeah.
I would imagine everybody's seen this one. Yeah.
And then another one that recently came on my radar is this Logan Federico, who was killed in South Carolina. So Iryna was killed in North Carolina. Logan is from North Carolina, but she was murdered in South Carolina.
Yeah.
So we'll start out. I'll play the video. I'm not going to play the full video of Iryna's murder, but I'm playing the part of it on the bus or on the train right after she gets stabbed. So let's look at that. This young lady, she's from the Ukraine. She's here. She comes onto the train. She sits in front of this monster and doesn't say anything to this guy, doesn't even look at him, just sits on the train in front of him. And I guess it's about 4 minutes into this train ride where you see him. I can't remember if the video showed this, but you see him opening a pocket knife, and he just stands up, stabs her multiple times in the neck. And I think the most iconic photo out of this is that point right after she's stabbed, where she kind of looks up at him and is just in complete horror, complete terror. It just rips your guts out to see it, because there was no reason for it. There was not that there's any reason to murder someone, but there was no reason. There was no interaction. He just got up and stabbed her, and she's dead before she even knows it.
Right.
The full video is extremely difficult
don't
to
watch
watch.
it.
Yeah, because you see her soon after she stabs, soon after she looks up at him in pure terror, she looks down and checks herself and almost immediately passes out and falls. And I mean, you just see
thankfully it was quick,
blood leaving her body. But so I guess this he's homeless. He's been released. The suspect, he's been released from the prison on promise to reappear and was to undergo mental health evaluation. I guess at the time this happened, in the video, I don't know if you could hear, but he's making comments. He's like, "I got that white girl. I got that white girl."
Yeah.
After the attack, he has an extensive criminal record since 2011, including felonies. In 2015, he served nearly 6 years for a robbery with a gun. He was released in September 2020, had 1 year of parole, where it appears he didn't commit any crimes. This is the other thing that drives me nuts about these narratives, because they want to push the mental health aspect of this guy.
Yeah.
Okay, but he's out on parole, but he's smart enough to not commit any crime when he's out on parole. It appears that year when he was out on parole, he didn't.
Well,
commit
nothing
crime.
he was caught for. Sure.
Nothing he was caught for.
Sure.
So he's being careful. It appears he's being careful. So he's smart enough to understand I'm on parole, so I should probably, be careful. In 2022, he was arrested for assault on a female. From the Charlotte Observer, they said a year and a half later, in April 2024, Brown was arrested for misusing 911. According to jail records, he posted a $500 secured bond and was charged with the same offense 2 weeks later in early May 2024, and again in January. The April and May arrests do not have any corresponding court files, but the January arrest does. Magistrate Judge Teresa Stokes released Brown on January 19th, the same day he was arrested, on a written promise to appear. On January 21st, Judge Fritz Mercer Jr. assigned him a public defender. More than 6 months later, Chief District Judge Roy Wiggins on July 28th ordered his capacity to proceed to be evaluated as his public defender had requested. Less than a month later, Brown boarded the light rail and Zarutska died. That's the last name of that suspect, Brown. So just...
Well, not that she died, she was killed.
She was murdered, yeah. So I think we need to have a serious conversation in this country about what we're doing with these criminals. And we're so desensitized to nonviolent crime as well. When I look at this stuff and, they're like, well, a lot of his crimes were nonviolent. But
Except for the assault of the woman.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, even just like, we're so desensitized to crime in general that we're like, oh, he was arrested 35 times. Well, what was that for? What was he arrested for? Like, that matters.
Yeah.
Like what he was arrested for matters. If you have someone who's been arrested so many times, at what point do you say this person needs to be put away? Like, should we have mandatory sentences if you're arrested a certain amount of times in 5 years, regardless of the level of the crime, regardless of whether or not it's violent or not? Because we see in so many of these cases, not all their crimes are violent, but that's what they're building to until we get to this point where he just snaps and kills someone for, it appears to be, no reason.
Because there's been no real consequences.
Right.
But none. Zero consequences for this guy. He spent a little bit of time in jail.
But but part of that is because, that's what I'm saying. Part of the reason for that is because we're desensitized to crime.
Sure. Yeah.
We're like, oh, it's just a theft, or it's just a burglary. No one.
Well,
was
it's
hurt.
not it's the judges. It's the judges and the attorneys. That's so the problem isn't with cops. Like that's the thing. Like,
sure,
people have to understand it's not the police fault. Most everything is the police fault. I get it. But like, this is one that you can't blame the police for, because the police bring them before the judge, and the judge is supposed to have an impartial look at what happened and then make a decision. And the jury's supposed to make a decision, and the judge is supposed to sentence them.
Right.
And if it isn't done quickly, there's no it should be swift. It should be a just trial. It should, everything should come in. And it should happen quickly.
Right.
And then once that happens, there should be a sentence.
Right.
And it should be carried out. The problem is we don't do that.
It's such a huge process.
You wait 8 months for a theft trial.
Right.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's even a verse about that, because a sentence isn't executed speedily, the heart of man is set on evil, or something like that.
It encourages. Like, if you see someone commit a theft and they don't go to trial, or they don't get any consequences, you're like, well, I'll do that. If it's in your heart,
right,
to be a criminal,
right,
you're going to do it because there's no consequences. Now, if there are swift and just punishment based on the severity of the crime, someone will take a step back.
Yeah,
like this guy, he should have a trial within a short period of time. He'll be found guilty, and he should be capital punishment.
Yeah.
He should be killed. And it should be, and in reality, it should be aired publicly. And that doesn't mean everybody has to watch, but it should be aired publicly. And that will deter another soul or person who thinks in that direction.
Right.
It will cause them to at least pause.
Right.
You do 3 or 4 of those, I guarantee you, because scripture says so,
Right.
that you'll cause some type of like, we're going to go back in the my evil that I want to do is going to be kind of closeted a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think sometimes the push against the death penalty is interesting to me too, because people are like, well, how can you be a Christian and for the death penalty? Isn't that like, doesn't that go against what the Bible teaches? How can you be for the death penalty, but against abortion? And it comes down to like this, well, first of all, what does the word say? What does the Bible say? And the Bible is clear that for certain crimes, God has created government officials to carry out death for some of those crimes.
And that's not the victims, and it's not even the victim's family's choice. They're not involved in that,
right?
In my opinion. That is the government's job. Like, you were given the sword by Almighty God,
right,
to wield it justly.
The sword is an offensive tool.
Yeah.
It is a tool of death.
That's right.
And it doesn't mean that the sword needs to be used in every single criminal offense, but it does mean that the sword is had to put people to death at times who have committed heinous crimes.
Yeah.
That's why it's there.
Yeah.
I often think about that passage too. I think you can make a case biblically for the death penalty for other crimes as well.
Repeated, for sure.
Yeah, like rape.
Well, rape is for sure.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, rape is for sure. But I'm saying, like, if you're going to continue to rob people at gunpoint, right? You do it one time, you're going to spend some time in jail, whatever that looks like. Like, as it continues, your punishment ought to be more severe.
Right.
And sometimes it is, right? The 3-strike rule for Megan's Law stuff, like if you commit a sex offense, like you are going to get more time. Child pornography is the same way. If you commit more child pornography offenses, your sentence goes up. But I do believe that some crimes could lead to capital punishment.
Right.
And I think they should.
Yeah.
You're going to deter people.
Right.
And it's just for the people. Right?
Yeah.
Like, she should not have been murdered.
Right.
Like, you should be able to get on a train and be safe.
Yeah. And
it's the government's fault when that doesn't happen.
That's the government's primary role.
Is the safety of its people.
It's the safety of its people. That's why we push back hard against, the evil that we see in criminality, the evil we see about open borders, the evil we see about abortion. That's why we push back so hard on those things, because the role of the government the primary role of any government is to protect its people, not people in other countries, but its people. That's the role of the government in that country, is to protect its people, and to praise good, crush evil, and hold the sword doing it.
Yeah.
That's its primary role. And so, and even you look in the Old Testament, there's definitely Old Testament, within the moral law of the Old Testament, God lays out when the death penalty is acceptable, when someone should be killed. The shedding of and killing and murdering of another person, that's one of those moments.
Unjustly killed. Yeah. Unrighteously killed. Yeah.
Murder.
Yeah.
I don't even like using the term kill. It's murder. Thou shalt not murder. We see that in the fifth commandment of the 10 Commandments. So, thou shalt not murder. And if you do, that brings death upon you.
Yeah.
That's talked about in the Old Testament. And then even in the New Testament, I think it's so interesting how people try to paint Jesus as this just mild-mannered, Jesus said some very hard things in the New Testament. And in Matthew 18, 5-6, he says, whoever receives one such child in my name receives me, but whoever causes one of these little ones who believes in me to sin, it would be better for him to have a great millstone fastened around his neck and to be drowned in the depths of the sea.
So that is capital punishment.
That's capital punishment. You know,
and he's not talking about murder there. He's talking about false teaching.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's
in a moment where children are around him, and he's making a very strong statement about priority of life when it comes to children.
Yeah.
Like why we need to, and I think we see it in our culture. We care so little about unborn babies in the womb. Why would we care about people walking around on the streets?
Yeah.
And it's obvious we don't. Like if you watch,
it's almost like we care more about the criminal
yeah,
than we do, which you've said 1,000 times on this podcast and in life in general. It's one of your go-to things. We do. We care about it almost seems like a lot of, and in reality, this is left thought.
Yes.
It is left thought. It's not thought of on the right. The right wants justice.
Right.
So it's just interesting.
Yeah, and I think our lack of care, or we're
love.
lack of love, we're so desensitized. If you watch the people on the train when Iryna is attacked, that to me is one of the most difficult things to watch.
Someone brings a phone out, right? Like a man, I think, brings a phone out.
Well, I don't know if that, I heard that, but I don't know if that's true.
Okay.
Someone actually called, like a man actually called 911 later. But the people sitting there when she's attacked, there's like at least 2 men that are there. I don't put this on the women on the train.
Sure, it's not their job.
I don't expect a woman to interact with a guy who's acting like this. But the men on the train, I guess for me, I'd rather die.
Yeah,
trying to stop that. Then, sorry, that was really loud. I should have turned my head,
dude.
Then getting off that train alive and knowing I did nothing to try to intervene. There's no one on that train that's going to be able to stop that stabbing. It happened in milliseconds.
Yeah.
Let me take that back. If you're paying attention, if you're a man on that train, you're paying attention to him, you possibly could have seen him unfolding the pocket knife.
Yeah. Or acting suspicious in some way.
Right.
You could go talk. Hey, can you sit up here? Can you sit up here? I want to talk to you real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do something.
You might have been.
Now this is hindsight stuff, and this is like putting us in that scenario, knowing what we know.
Sure.
But let me tell you this: you do that, you're a racist.
Yeah.
Because he's a black guy sitting behind a white girl.
Right.
Now you're a racist.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if you say, well, no, I saw him unfolding a pocket knife.
Yeah. Or he was acting real funny.
Yeah.
I can't really describe it, but I had like a funny feeling.
Something wasn't right.
Something wasn't right. Or I did see some movement like with his hands. It kind of freaked me out. Like, so I went and talked to this lady and asked her to come sit with me.
Yeah. Or just go stand there. I mean, that would probably make her feel uncomfortable, but regardless, afterwards, no men on this train, not one single man interacted with this guy. Not one guy tried to stop him. Not one guy did anything. Yeah. That like hurt my heart watching it, because I'm like, I hope and I think and I believe based on,
first of all, it would have been carried a gun, so he'd have been zapped. But like,
right. Yeah. But you know, I think, you know, I'm like, I would have rather died trying to interact with that guy than do nothing.
Brutal, dude. Yeah.
Like, how can you watch someone do that? And like, people just watched this girl like slump over and did nothing. Like, no one went up to her. I don't think anyone went up to her until this guy got off the train.
Yeah. I mean, they were in reality, they were in complete shock.
Right.
If you're not thinking about these things, which normal people probably shouldn't be, but maybe we ought to nowadays, because this is a scary world we live in now. And I would suggest this: if you're a young lady traveling by yourself and you get on a train, don't sit anywhere near someone who looks suspicious.
Right.
And people may label me a racist for that.
Or sit back at the back of the train.
Yeah, or like be aware of your surroundings.
Get off
and
your
in
phone.
reality, here's this: everybody has a sixth sense.
Mm-hmm.
If I see 6 youth white boys all decked out, looking like they're up to no good,
right?
I can use lots of other words to describe that. If they look like they're up to no good, you know, you can see the strut, you can see you can see these things. You have to do something to protect yourself. It doesn't make you racist. It makes you a normal human being.
Right.
Right? Walk across the street. Move over. That doesn't make you a bad person.
Right.
You don't know these people.
Right.
You have no relationship with them except the fact that you're a fellow human being.
Right.
And they may be up to no good. They may not be up to no good, but you have the right as a human being to make that choice to move out of the way, to find a different place to sit, to walk onto a different train.
Right.
To sit with your back to things.
Yep.
To not get on a train because someone's talking to themselves and doing the old bob that is an obvious sign of something's not right.
Right.
So go somewhere else. It doesn't make you a bad person.
Yeah.
Like it's been drilled into us that if you look at somebody and you judge them,
not judge them, but you make a judgment.
you make a judgment based on things that you're seeing.
Right.
That you're now a bigot, you're a racist, you don't like these type of people, like whatever. That's not right.
Right.
It's just not.
Yeah.
Like we got to protect ourselves. And she was oblivious.
Yeah.
Absolutely oblivious.
And
she was a sheep ready to be slaughtered. I mean, in reality. But she should have been able to be a sheep ready to be slaughtered on a train.
Yeah.
She should have been.
And I think that's interesting to me too, because I think, you know, I look back on my career and I think about times people called me and like, hey, my purse was stolen out of my car. Well, where was it? Well, it was on my front seat. And I'd be like, how can you be such an idiot? Why would you leave your purse on the front seat? And I would get annoyed with the victim. And I started thinking about that. And I was like, you should be able to put your purse or your wallet on your front seat and not have someone break the window out of your car and steal that.
You should be able to like forget your phone on the counter of a coffee shop, walk away, come back in and somebody, and it still be there.
Right.
Or someone said, hey, your phone's right here.
Yeah.
Like we should be helping humanity. If you see someone leave their phone, hey, you forgot your phone. Don't just like ignore it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like be more human.
But I think, you know, it's just like our capacity even to, you know, we're so desensitized to crime, as I said before, even minor crime, that we're like, we put the responsibility on the victim.
That's a great point. Like your point about that is great.
Yeah.
You should be able to leave your purse in your car locked.
Right. You should be able to do that. Now we have to be, you know, wise. We have to be discerning. We should, you know, not
now you can't. But we should work toward that being a reality again.
Right.
And the way you do that is by holding criminals accountable the first time.
Right.
The first time. And you make it hurt.
Yeah.
Right? If they're on Social Security, you take it away.
Right.
The first time they commit a crime. You committed theft, Social Security done. You're done. You're banned for 3 years.
Yes.
You're banned for 5 years. And you're going to jail for 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt, and it will probably deter. You start putting that stuff out there as a judge, no one's going to want to go in front of you. And if all of the judges started doing that in a county,
right,
like that county is going to change. Like it's just going to change.
Yeah.
And you know, you commit a theft a second time, lifetime ban, Social Security, you're done. You're done.
Yeah.
They're either going to move out and go to another county or another state and hope that the judges aren't the same. But judges have got to do their job. And then we can slowly get back to the place where you can leave your purse or your cell phone in your car and lock your car and it'd be fine.
Yeah. And I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you, but I think stuff like that would be great. Like make stuff like this mandatory. Give mandatory sentences. Hey, you get arrested for a theft, mandatory loss of Social Security.
Yeah.
For life. Make it for life.
Sure.
You
can
know,
go extreme
until you retire from an actual career. So I think like the responsibility of these things needs to go on the person who's committing the crime. And the point I'm making is that even you and I are guilty of putting responsibility on the victim and being like, how could you be so stupid to leave your purse there or to like leave your car door unlocked or, we put this responsibility on the victim when really our anger, hopefully righteous anger, should be against the criminal.
Yeah.
But
right.
We do
For
it.
sure.
It seeps into how we operate, even in our profession as police officers. We start, looking at the people we're serving as morons. Well, why would you do that? Well, they should be able to do that and not be targeted by.
It is because of the, I don't know if apathetic's the right word, but like basically there's no consequences.
Yeah.
That's why, because we realize there are no consequences for these people breaking a car window and taking a purse. There's zero consequences. Right. Or they're so minimal that they are in reality zero consequences.
And we bend over backwards to try to figure out how can we help the criminal?
Yeah.
We like what's wrong? What's wrong with the criminal? Like what's his ACE score? If you remember one of our podcasts where we talked about ACE score, what traumatic events has he been part of? Like how can we help him?
Yeah. He didn't have a father growing up, so like nobody taught him right from wrong.
And my thing is, I don't care.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You plunged a knife multiple times into a girl's neck for no reason.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care what got you to that point. I really don't.
Right.
It doesn't matter. You murdered someone.
I get it. There should be some people who care. That's not the judge's role. That's not the judge's role. That might be some social, some other entity to figure it out so that they can fix a problem with someone younger. But that's not the judge's role.
Right.
It's just not. It's not their role, and it's not the legislator's role either. It might be part of their role, but you have to separate the two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we should care, and we should try to better people's lives so they have a better opportunity to live a normal life, like a life that is a citizen of this great country, and live according to the laws and be a better person.
Right.
We should. But that's not in this situation. It's got to be separate. It's not the judge's role to do both things.
Right.
Is my opinion.
No, you're 100%. The judge's role is to dole out justice.
Yeah, wield out that sword. Yeah,
wield
bring it
the
out.
sword.
Bring it out.
Give the consequence.
He should be publicly capital punished. That's not the right phrase.
Yeah.
The government should put him down. And I believe in public.
Yeah.
In a public way.
Let's see what Van Jones from CNN thinks.
Hurt people. What happened was horrible. We know he did it because she's white when there's no evidence of that. It's just pure race mongering, hate mongering. It's wrong.
Yeah, so here's the thing about what let's look at the first thing Van Jones says. He's like, hurt people.
Yeah.
That's this whole idea about mental health in in criminals and why we need to we need to help them. Well, help them in prison. Put them in prison. They're not safe to be around other people. I don't care what mental health problems he has. And I've gone to trainings too where people are like, well, by and large, people who are struggling with schizophrenia and all these mental health problems are not a danger to society. Some of the most unhinged, violent people I've been around are struggling with these mental health things. And when I'm dealing with them, I don't care about their mental health things. I care about stopping the behavior, the criminal activity they're doing. And in this case, for Van Jones to say, we don't know, hurt people. Are you insane?
Yeah, that doesn't make it right. That's the thing.
He plunged a knife into someone's neck, and you're focused on what happened to him. Like, how can we help him? What about the family of the deceased? What about the family of the murder victim? And here's the other thing I want to say about this. This guy, you want to tell me he has mental health problems, blah, blah, blah. Maybe he does. But what he's smart enough to do is take care and be careful during, I think, 2020 when he's on parole. He doesn't get arrested when he's out of prison on parole. So he's smart enough and cognizant enough to at least be careful during that time period because he's committing copious amounts of crime. So during that time period, he's careful.
He made a choice to behave.
He made a choice to behave.
To not get
caught. As soon as he's done plunging the knife into Iryna's neck, what's he do? He goes to the exit doors of the train. You know why he does that? Because he knows he just killed someone. He knows he just murdered someone.
Yeah, he's not. It wasn't his stop.
Yeah, he's literally at the door of the train. He's bleeding because when he plunged the knife so violently into her neck, his hand slipped and he's bleeding. That's why you see those blood droplets on the floor of the train. He takes his shirt off. He wraps his hand up. He's waiting to get off that train. As soon as those doors open, he's out.
Yeah,
he's out.
Right.
You know, and so that tells me, I don't care how mentally unstable you are. He knows what he did was wrong. He's trying to get away. He's trying to escape.
And that is like hurt people. I just, man, I don't even know.
So that's
what
okay.
To say.
That's
I don't even know
okay
what to
then.
say. Okay. If you mouth off to someone and you hurt their feeling, like, okay, that might apply. This dude literally, like you said, plunged a knife in this woman's neck multiple times.
Yes.
Like, that's not a hurt
Without
person
a thought.
Hurting someone. That's, yeah.
And I guess what I'd like to say to Van Jones, if someone came into your house, or if that was your relative,
a hurt person,
you know, and that happened to someone that you loved, would that be your attitude?
Yeah.
Well, man, it's terrible that she died, but that person that murdered my family member was a hurt person. And hurt people hurt people.
Yeah. Just hurting.
Like, what does that mean? Like, no consequences? Right. Then you should just, you know, just let him walk. And then his other comment about the you know, I guess Charlie Kirk had come out and said, you know, Iryna was murdered because she was white. And he comes out and it's like, this is not a race thing. Like, how can you say that just because a black guy, you know, murdered this white woman, that it's a racial thing? Well, two reasons. One, he's on the train, and on that video, it's hard to hear, but he's actually saying, I got that white woman. I got that white woman. He's actually making comments about her race and what he just did. And secondly, the second reason I find this so rich from Van Jones is when George Floyd died, it was immediately a racial thing. Right. Because you looked at skin color, you had no other evidence. And he's saying there's no evidence that this was racially driven. We have no evidence of that. Well, actually, you have more evidence here because he's talking about, I got that white girl. You have more evidence here. I'm not saying that it was driven by race, but he's saying, I got that white girl. He's putting race into his statement. You have more evidence here. The George Floyd incident, all you had was two people with two different skin colors, and you, Van Jones, every single day on the news said that Derek Chauvin was a racist cop.
Why wasn't Officer Chauvin, who I don't believe had anything to do with the death of George Floyd yet, why wasn't he a hurting person? Maybe he was hurting. Maybe he had a lot of stress in his life.
That's a very good point.
I mean, we should.
What trauma did he have?
Yeah.
You know, I've seen many things that most people experience 1.5 to 3 traumatic events in their life. Police officers experience, I think it's 18 to 20 or over 20 or something like that. So I'm sure Derek Chauvin had experienced many things because we always want to talk about lived experience and how it's so important. I'm sure Officer Chauvin had been in many critical incidents. Yeah. He was probably a hurting person, and hurt people hurt people. So yeah, Van Jones.
So we should probably just get Officer Chauvin some counseling and some help, give him some money from the government.
Yeah.
You know, find him a counselor instead of putting him in jail for however long. It's brutal, dude. Like that's a terrible statement. And, you know, we don't know the heart of this guy. Like we don't know the heart of him. But he did say, and maybe to mouth off, maybe Charlie Kirk mouthing off that this is a race thing. Maybe that's a little bit heavy. Yeah. Maybe say what he said and just leave it at that. You know, we don't know that he killed her because she was white.
Right.
Like we can't say that.
He made a statement that suggests maybe that was the reason. Yeah. But yeah. It
has something to do with why he did what he did.
It's more evidence that it's a racially driven
than the Chauvin
incident than the Derek, Officer Chauvin and George Floyd. So that's all I'm saying. The hypocrisy. I'm like, do you think about what you're saying? Do you critically think about the comments you're making for like Van Jones, and see like the level of hypocrisy between two different incidents.
And that's what makes it. And I don't like to use the word racist, because it's just, you're separating people by race is what he's doing. He's dividing even more,
Right.
where it doesn't have to be divided.
Right.
Like, he committed a wicked act that deserves capital punishment. Let's just call it what it is. Like, we don't have to continue to divide us based on the amount of melanin we have in our bodies.
Right.
Like, that's crazy.
It's identity politics. It's like, okay, you're white, you're bad. Oh, you're a white police officer? You're a racist.
Oh yeah.
You know, and you're black, you're good.
You're
black and you committed a murder? Well, you just need help.
You're a hurt
You're
person.
a hurting person.
Yeah, you're a hurting
and it's like this, you know, that's not how we should view people. We should view people through, you know, the fact that they were created in God's image.
Yeah, we're image bearers of
the Creator. That's how we should view people. And to break people down into their identities, like, you see the chaos it creates. You have comments like this from someone who's on a national news agency making comments like this that are insane.
Yeah, which is crazy to me, is she in her apartment, she has BLM flags. You know what I mean? So she was a support.
Iryna did.
Yeah, she's a supporter of BLM, and like, I'm not, okay,
right.
But like, she's a supporter of BLM.
Yeah.
Like, and he didn't. I mean, obviously he didn't know that. Like,
but,
and even if he did, it probably wouldn't matter. But like, it's just interesting. You know what I mean? Like, it's just brutal, dude.
Right.
Like that whole.
Like, where is our priority of life? Like, if you look at it in law enforcement, you know, we have a priority of life. So what Gary and I are talking about, it's not that one person's life matters more than another person's life, but we have to have priority of life. Like, if police officers, if we go into a situation, the hostage victim, number one priority.
Right.
Citizens, civilians around, second priority. Us, third priority. Suspect's life, last priority.
Right.
Okay. That doesn't mean that the suspect's life matters less than anyone else's life. It's just, that's the priority in the moment when you have someone committing crime, committing sin against other people. The suspect's priority of life is lower than your victim, than your innocent civilians, than the police.
Right. Right.
That's not how it is in our culture. That Van Jones is saying, no, the murderer has priority of life. His life matters more than the life of the girl he plunged a knife into.
He took her life.
Right.
Like, he took it from her, and he has no right to do so.
Right.
Only God has the rights to take life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And he's given power to the government to also take life.
Yeah.
You know?
It's super sad. We didn't talk much about this murder of Logan Federico. She was 22 years old.
This was new to me.
She was killed in South Carolina. This came on radar because this dad went before some sort of commission in his home state to talk about the death of his daughter, the murder of his daughter, and I'm gonna play it. It's powerful, and you can just hear the pain in this father's voice,
the frustration
about
this is an even better example of quote career criminal. This is a better example than the first one we talked about.
Right.
Here's what I need you to do. When I tell you this story, think about your kids. Think about your child coming home from a night out with their friends, laying down, going to sleep, feeling somebody come in the room and wake them, and drag her out of bed, naked, forced on her knees, with her hands over her head, begging for her life, begging for her hero, her father, me, that couldn't be there. She was 5'3". She weighed 115 pounds. Bang! Dead. Gone. Why? Because Alexander Devontae Dickey, who was arrested 39 times, 25 felonies, was on the street. How about that? How good are we doing for our family? How good are you doing for your kids? He should have been in jail for over 140 years for all the crimes he committed. You know how much time he spent in prison? A little over 600 days in 10 years. He's only 30 years old. He was committing 2.65 crimes a year since he was 15 years old, but nobody could figure out that he couldn't be rehabilitated. Well, you'd have to put him in prison to see if he could be rehabilitated. Isn't that the idea of prison? And she literally was executed while on her knees, begging for her life. Her name's Logan Federico. You need to fight for the rest of our children, the rest of the innocents, and stop protecting the people that keep taking them from us. Please. You have the power. We put you in the power to do what you have to do. We're asking you, we're begging you all to stop this. 39 crimes in 10 years, 25 felonies. Can anybody here explain to me, well, how possibly he could be on the street? Possibly be on the street. How is it possible? And that career criminal, an hour later, went on a spending spree with her debit card. When they saw his face on a video, they didn't have to do a check. He was arrested so many times, they knew who he was. They knew exactly where to go get him. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic that I'm here today. Thank you for your time.
Yeah,
Man. Try to put yourself in that guy's place as a father.
I can't imagine. And I loved his speech and what he said. And I love the fact that when he yelled bang, like people in the room jumped.
Yeah.
Like I can't imagine being the father and, knowing that you, like, imagining your daughter being murdered.
Yeah.
And you not being able to be there. That would, you can tell it ripped his heart out.
Oh, yeah.
It ripped his soul out.
Yeah.
And to know that those people who could have done something about it and held this guy accountable, offense, crime, and crime after crime after crime.
What's the numbers? 30?
I think it was like 35. He spells it out. 39 crimes, 25 felonies. And this guy's just
insane.
This guy, at some point, I don't care what the crimes are. At some point, if you're committing that much crime, a judge has to look at that and be like, you are incapable of operating
within society.
Yeah. And we're going to put you away. Maybe it's not a death penalty case. Maybe it's their 10th theft. At some point, a judge has to say, you are not getting it. And if there's any hope for you to be rehabilitated, like this dad said, it should be in prison.
Right.
That is the point of prison, to rehabilitate, to correct behavior. That's the point of prison.
And to punish behavior.
And to punish. But
we've gone away from that.
It's like
prison is a punishment. It ought to be a punishment.
Right.
There are consequences for your actions. This guy to commit 25 felonies and still be on the street is absolutely mind-boggling to me.
Right.
And it seems like it's becoming more prevalent.
Yeah.
And more normal.
Because we've been programmed to say they need help.
What is the number that we have to have in order to actually put someone away who doesn't belong in society? What number is that? Is it 100 felonies? Is it 30? Is it 25? I think it's way less than that. But what are we doing? You're not doing your job, judges and legislators. You're not doing your job. You're part of this society. And in order for our society to be a peaceful place, you must do your job. You have to.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of it, and there's nothing I could do. I need to be a judge is what I need to do.
Yeah. Well, there you go. We're tired of it, but this father is ruined over it.
Yeah. And,
you know,
and maybe this becomes the spark that like that changes that particular county. Like that's what you need to do is like if you want to be an activist, go with the judges and be like, we're done. Like we're going to vote you out. Now you're done. You know, we'll find a judge who's actually going to do their job. Put people away who belong to be put away, who ought to be put away, and do the right thing. Enact justice. That's your role in this society. If you're not going to do it, we'll find someone else. Right. That's what we need to do. And instead, we just like that's why voting, local voting is extremely important.
Yeah.
And holding them accountable. But we don't necessarily do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like we're not involved in politics nearly as we ought to be. We just like, oh, they represent us. They do the job that they're supposed to do. And we just like think that they're going to do it.
Right.
And maybe we just need to be more vocal.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how is this going to change? Like, how are we going to turn it around? I think what you said is probably our best bet right now on this side of heaven is to vote people in who understand the responsibility, the weight of the responsibility.
Yeah.
It's not just a job. It's not just a career. It's not just a paycheck. You have a responsibility.
A God-given responsibility.
Yeah. Even if you don't believe in God, it's a God-given responsibility.
That's right.
You know, you've been placed there by God to do a specific job. And we're failing miserably. We're failing these families miserably. And it just rips my heart out to see this dad like talking about his daughter.
Dude, his heart pain is just, it's so obvious. Like, and rightly so.
Right.
And he puts the responsibility on who it belongs to be.
Right.
And that's the judges who let this guy go.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So, but, you know, instead what we're doing is what Kansas City's doing, and we're patrolling around with blue lights on. This reminds me, this makes me think that a bunch of high-level staff members in the Kansas City Police Department got around at some meeting or had some meeting brainstorming about how to impact crime in their city. And this is what they came up with. And I picture them all like slapping each other on the back. Oh, great. Yeah, oh man, this is such a great job. And then I picture them putting this out to your boots on the ground police officers, your guys who are out there trying to be proactive. And these guys probably saw red. Like, what are we doing? So this is what they're doing. From Kansas City PD's website, the blue lights will be utilized while members are operating or stationary in the patrol vehicles in designated areas, particularly during hours of darkness. So what they're doing is they're turning on steady blue lights on their light bars, and that's how they're patrolling around, especially at night where it's even more visible.
Right.
What is the point? Like what does that solve? According to the Kansas City Star article, the Blue Light Initiative is designed to enhance police visibility by deploying officers with steady blue lights, quote, in areas where we have experienced crime, where we want to prevent crime, but also where we've gotten extra patrol requests, Kansas City Police Chief Stacy Graves said. The blue light also helps the department demonstrate that its officers are out serving the community.
It's basically like, look at us. We're here. Yay! The cops are here. That's what it screams of. We're not doing anything.
It doesn't do anything. It demonstrates that all officers are out serving the community.
It makes people feel a certain way. It's like
Do you know what happened when this dropped from Kansas City PD? All the career criminals in the city looked at each other and was like, this is incredible.
Now I know exactly where the cops are.
Now, like cop cars are pretty conspicuous already.
Yeah,
like
they stand out.
They stand out. But now I can even see it from farther away because they're going to have their blue lights on.
I can see them 3 blocks away.
Hey, career criminal Charlie, come over here. Take a look at this. This is amazing. Look at this. we're going to be able to commit crime more easily.
Hey, Johnny, the cops are coming. Let's head out.
I'm like, oh my word! Like, who comes up with these ideas?
It's hard to sneak up on like criminals to begin with in a police car.
Now you're going to throw a blue light on?
Yeah, exactly.
And I guarantee you, if these guys, these like true street goons who are going around trying to like make arrests, are like turn their blue lights off, they'll probably get written up.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Earlier this summer, this is also from the Kansas City Star article. Earlier this summer, the Kansas City Council approved a resolution allowing the city's marked police vehicles to patrol with their blue lights steadily on, a practice already used in other cities. I did not know this, including Baltimore, Chicago. All the
Why are we following cities that are absolutely like...
Hey, Baltimore, Chicago, Washington, D.C., their dumpster fires.
Let's follow them.
Let's do what they're doing. Yeah.
They have great ideas.
Good job, Captain. Great idea.
Way to go, Chief.
And Charlotte, North Carolina, where we were just talking about the death and murder of Iryna. The Blue Initiative will not, on its own, solve all the city's crime problems, Mayor Lucas said. You don't say. But it is one step, allowing people to know that law enforcement is around, he noted. Hey, Mayor, they already know law enforcement is around. They see the cars.
Yeah.
How about you arrest some people? How about judges put people in jail?
Yeah.
I mean,
how about put cops in unmarked cars and let them go destroy the criminal element?
Get some jump out boys in there. Yeah.
Put some yellow shirts on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that? How about how about oh, I can't wrap my mind around it. This is like, these are a bunch of people who are so disconnected from what is actually going on the street. And they're like, you know what? Let's put blue lights on so people know we're out there. No, let people know you're out there by stomping some crime out. How about that?
Yeah, crushing the bad guy. Yeah, make them fear the fact that that you can't see the police coming. That's actually what you should do. I don't know when the cops are going to be here. I ain't slinging dope today.
Right.
I'm not looking for the rival gang member. I'm not looking for some innocent woman that I can take her purse from. Like, I don't know where the police are, but they might be right around the corner. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So they went into all these cruisers and reprogrammed them.
So that you turn it on.
So that you can turn on just the blue light and it won't flash. It'll just be steady. They went in and reprogrammed.
So they're steady. They're not just...
They're not blinking. They're steady. They're
Interesting.
steady blue lights. It's like you're a taxi now. Like, hey, I'm coming. You know, who? If you're a criminal, run. So they spent money. I don't know how much money they spent. It probably wasn't a ton of money, but yeah, maybe they should have came out with an initiative that said, hey, you know what we're doing? We're putting out 20. We just bought 20 unmarked cars, and we're putting them out all over the city. They will have at least 2 officers each in them.
No, they'll have 4. Let's
At
go
least
go
2.
gonzo, dude.
Yeah, at least 2. We're hoping for 4. And hey, if you're out here, if you're hustling on the street corners, if you're engaged in violent crime, if you're doing this,
you're carrying guns,
dude, we are coming after you.
And you're not going to know. You're not going to see us coming. Next thing you know, we're there, and you're in handcuffs.
How about say that, Chief Stacy?
That's what you ought to say.
Say that.
Yeah.
You won't
put some
see
fear
us.
into them, dude.
You won't see us coming. We will come and we will destroy you.
Yeah, we will disappear you from the streets.
Yeah.
And we will put you in front of a judge.
We're going Ecuador on you.
Dude, I love it. Like, and listen, if you're a normal citizen, you have nothing to fear. You should feel like if someone said the problem is we have some people in this society who are normal citizens, and that scares you. That feels like oppressive. Why?
Right.
They're not coming after you. You ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you forget that people literally have evil on their hearts and in their minds, and they want to act out on it.
Right.
And they want to come after your kid or your daughter or your wife, your husband. They're going to take his wallet, his keys, like his car, like that. People want to take your things and take your life. Yeah. You have nothing to fear.
And the high level people, the people in high levels of government, very rich people, sports stars who who believe that the police are an oppressive force. They believe the police are an oppressive force, and that like just being around them like oppresses me. I worry that they might murder me. I worry that the police might murder me. You know, they roll around, they're aggressive, they have guns and everything. Are the same people that surround themselves with a bunch of people with guns to protect them, because they know what's going on out there. Yeah. They know what's happening out there, and it's like. I don't get it. So anyways, we've been going a minute here. I did want to just a real quick update. We don't have any new updates on the cases against Officer Salvatore Aldradi, Officer Brad Lunsford, or Officer Mac Marquette as of this recording. We are expecting news about Officer Lunsford's case
real soon, right?
Hopefully, very soon.
Yeah.
So
it was supposed to be 10 days, right? And
it was supposed to be 10
ago.
days. I think we're at or after that 10-day mark as of this recording. So news on that any moment. Again, if you follow us on social media, X, Instagram, Facebook, I'll put stuff out there as I get it. Officer Mac Marquette, his case is still, they're still, it's. Judges are trying to make decisions, and Officer Aldradi, same thing. So we don't have any updates on those. I did want to put forth, and here at the end of the episode, I'll play a clip from. How well did you know Pastor Voddie Baucham? Yeah, great. I always appreciated Voddie, Pastor Voddie Baucham. I actually mentioned him in our last episode when we were talking about Charlie Kirk as one of those guys during 2020 who was very instrumental in helping me process through a lot of things that was going on. Just a hero of the faith, bold against things that he saw going on in culture, and shared the gospel often. And when we close out this episode, I'm going to close it out with a clip from him where he's talking about cultural issues and he ties the gospel in.
That's awesome.
In a really good way.
Dude, his story is wild. Like,
can't believe he died. He died on September 25th, and he was only, I think, 56.
Yeah, he was super young. But this dude, like, he had a family, and then they had like 2 kids or whatever, and then they wind up like having a heart change, and they adopted 7 boys, and they wind up moving back to like where they're from, Uganda or
Zambia, I think.
Moved back to Zambia, lived there and tried to help the churches out there. Like this, like that was his home. And like, I love that.
Right. And just in 2024, he came back to the U.S. And took a ministry position here in the United States. And
that's when he started having like heart issues, right?
I think he had heart issues before then. But yeah, he was continuing to get treatment.
Obviously, the medical stuff out there in Africa is not as good as the States. So
yeah. So,
but I mean,
I just felt like that was a huge loss for the Christian community. He was just a bulwark for the faith.
Yeah. And he didn't mince words. That's what
I
loved about him.
He was a big guy too. He was like into jiu-jitsu and stuff. I was like, I met him one time.
Did you really? Like in person?
Yeah. So wild story. I was managing that store in Lancaster City after I retired from Lancaster City, and he was in town recording. He was part of. Do you remember those documentaries? The first one was Uncle Tom, and then they had an Uncle Tom 2.
No.
Great documentaries. Check them out. But he was being interviewed for, I think, Uncle Tom 2. And they were doing that interview.
That's like a derogative term, right?
Yeah, but that's the name of the documentary.
Okay, gotcha.
The name of the documentary was Uncle Tom.
No, I was just trying to...
And it was talking about race, culture, everything that was going on in 2020, 2021.
Okay.
So Pastor Voddie was in town recording for this. And I somehow knew that he was close by in a building recording. I think I had connections with people who knew that he was in town. So anyways, I'm in the store, and all of a sudden he comes out of the building next door.
Yeah.
And gets in this van, and I went full fanboy.
With your big giant beard.
Oh, I had a huge beard. Yeah. So
and he's got a beard, right?
Yeah.
He usually has a beard.
So I go out of the store, and I go up to the van.
Yeah.
And he's an intimidating guy. Like, he's big.
Yeah.
Like, he's a big dude, and I knew that he can fight and stuff. And I come up to the van and he's just kind of like eyeing me up, like, who's this crazy, white guy with a giant beard coming up to me? And I introduced myself and told him, that I was a retired officer and I really appreciated, and he was a huge help, like some of the stuff that he put out and stuff. And he was super gracious.
Nice.
You could tell he was like exhausted, but he like spoke to me for a couple minutes. They gave me a free copy of the Uncle Tom documentary.
Really?
The guys with him and stuff. They're like, hey, here, have this. And super kind to me.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, that's awesome.
He could have just pulled up the window and be like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like he was just a cool dude. So
dude, that's all. I never knew that.
You never, yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
So I was full fanboy.
It
was ridiculous, man. But yeah, so I actually met him. So, but yeah, we'll play a clip here at the end of the episode. The final thing I want to do is just check back in about the Charlie Kirk episode. That was a very popular episode, and I didn't know if there was anything looking back on that episode, Gary, or thinking through everything we had talked about. If you had any follow up or points that looking back. So
not really. Did we get some hate or some love?
No, we got a lot of.
It's interesting. The algorithm didn't kick us, like didn't throttle it.
Yeah, it actually,
because we talked. I mean, we talked faith. We talked.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's interesting is it definitely we don't have a big YouTube channel, like we're small potatoes over here, but
if you like, subscribe, comment, you can trigger the algorithm, and like maybe we could get some more followers or more people listening.
Yeah.
So do your job.
It was yes. I'm terrible at these calls to action, but it was interesting to me that it definitely, that episode got more views on YouTube than any of our other episodes.
Interesting.
And in a shorter amount of time. The episode did really well. It resonated with people. I had a lot of people reaching out and saying they really appreciated the episode. I know that we were pretty strong. We said a lot of strong things in that episode that, I don't worry too much about tone, but sometimes I think,
phrases, words,
the way we say things,
thoughts that come out of our mouth holes.
Our mouth holes. But I did have one guy reach out who's in the law enforcement community who, the events of our day, the Charlie Kirk assassination, he's an ardent supporter and listener of the podcast. And he came out and was like, hey, me and my wife, I'm a Christian, but we haven't been going to church. And we want to go to church.
Yeah.
And asking for advice about any good churches where he lives.
Nice.
So I was able to have a conversation with him.
Dude, praise God. That's awesome.
Yeah. So stuff like that is super encouraging, because that was the whole point of that episode, is to, shine a bright light on the gospel.
Yeah. Let's stop hiding.
Yeah.
Right. Like even me, like,
yeah, I think we
just be brave, be courageous a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then I think and we said some hard things in that. I think one thing that I wish I go back and clarify is that I was not saying that, your belief as a believer has nothing to do with what political party you're part of or you follow.
I got you.
And I think maybe, I didn't want to come across like that. I think for me, I grapple with how diametrically opposed the left is to Christianity. And, I hear people, they're like, well, I didn't vote for Trump. Believers, he's mean, he's nasty, he's a sex addict, he's this, he's that. And I'm like, okay, I didn't vote for Trump because I believe he's a believer. I didn't vote for Trump because I believe that I'm not like voting
the
for
most moral person out there. Yeah.
I'm not voting for a pastor. I'm not voting for an elder. I'm voting for a guy who I think most closely lines up with the word of God in things like abortion, the border, the whole trans stuff. I'm voting for crime. I'm voting for a guy who I think can more closely get us to where we should be in a biblical sense.
Yeah.
And do I am I a MAGA guy? No, I'm not like this full bore MAGA guy.
Yeah, I don't own a Trump hat. I don't own a Trump hat or what is it, 45, 47? Like, I don't own that hat. Like, I would never, I wouldn't wear that hat.
Right.
It's not my style.
Right.
It's just not my thing.
But like, I'm not voting for a guy who is the most kind, the most loving, the most, gentle. Like, that's not what I'm voting for. I'm voting for a guy who can best uphold the mandate he's given, which is to protect and praise the citizens of his country who are trying to do the right thing, and to punish and come down on the people in his country who are doing the wrong thing. That is his mandate. And so it's hard for me to understand how you can be a believer and align yourself with a party that is full bore abortion, full bore into we want to kill babies, full bore into open borders. We don't care about the safety of our citizens. The safety of our citizens is secondary to loving our neighbor. Well, is not your neighbor your fellow citizen?
Right.
Who's full bore into protecting, and approving and praising the trans movement and the LGBTQ movement, who approves of it.
Yeah, totally into globalism.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to get across in the episode. It's not that.
So you feel like you basically said that if you're Christian, you shouldn't be a Democrat. Is how you think you came across.
Yeah, I think maybe I came across like that. And what I'm saying is I struggle with matching those two, but repentance and belief is how you're a believer.
That's
repentance and belief. It has nothing to do with what political party you align to. I just don't understand how a professing Christian can align with the left, with the liberal side. So
what things did I say that you think need clarified, or did you think of anything?
No. I
just say stuff and I forget it, dude. So
yeah. I think we try not to be super political on this, on these shows, on these episodes. The problem is it's impossible in our day and age. There's no standard. There's no standard on the left. Generally the conservative, the right side, has held the same standard, but the left, well,
I would say this: the conservative side has definitely drifted left over many years. Like we need to not just be like the here and now conservative. We need to go back to actually conservative values.
Right.
In my opinion.
Maybe what I should say is Christian conservatives have not wavered. We believe the same things we believed 100 years ago.
Yeah.
But the culture and the culture has continued to drift so far left,
which caused the Christian to drift left also. I believe that to be true. I think that's true.
I totally agree with you, and I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying that the remnant, the Christian,
gotcha.
The Christian conservatives, the Christian.
You got to be careful here, Anthony. I know what you're saying.
I don't know how else to say it. The Christian conservatives, the legitimate church.
All right.
Okay. The actual Church of Christ, has not wavered. We've held the same standard for years. It just looks more radical now because every culture has gone to the left, and some of professing Christians have gone to the left, or moved to the left.
That needs a lot more exploring, and maybe that's for another episode because we're getting kind of long-winded here. But I hear what you're saying. I have to think about that some more.
My views as a believer have not changed.
Yours, you can say yours, but I think the church as a whole. What are we doing here?
Right.
We're ramping back up, man.
We'll get into it.
We're ramping back up. The church, though, has drifted. The true church, even there might be individuals, but I'm saying the true church has drifted left.
Okay.
That doesn't make it. I'm not saying that's right. I'm correct. I'm saying we need to go back as a more holistic, the church, because you have lots of individuals like you who have these values, but that's not the norm anymore in the church, and it needs to go back to that because we've had weak pastors, who've caved to the culture, and the Christians within that body have also drifted left. That's true of all of us, I think.
So, and
but
then
like
the
we
question
have to go back to what it was, or even farther.
So the question then is, and what I'm trying to say is, the churches who have drifted left, are they the church? Are they part?
I think they can be. They need to be. They need to be fixed. They need to be sanctified. They need to have a change, to have a change of mind, and that's true of me.
Yeah,
dude, we all drift. We all drift. We're manipulated. So, dude, I say this all. We are the most easily manipulated people. Well, we're the most easily manipulated being. We're so easily like swayed, but we have to be grounded in the truth of Scripture. And that has to be our standard, not what the world says, not what culture says, not what our government says. What does the Scripture actually say, and align ourselves with that? And that is extremely hard.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing. Yeah. That's harder than fasting for 96 hours.
Yeah.
It just is.
And I like how you bring it back personally, because like that it is it's so easy to be affected by the things of this world.
Yeah.
And, even this week, like I struggle with my thought patterns. Like I tend to have like a negative reel in my mind. I lack joy. I lack hope, because I kind of operate in the detritus of, our world, at work. Like I'm not going to positive things at work.
Yeah.
And then we do this podcast. I'm always like looking at stuff and reading stuff and digesting things. And that like can really affect you. And it just dawned on me, within the past couple of weeks, like, am I taking every thought captive? Am I thinking on the things of God, or am I thinking on the things of this world?
Right. What am I dwelling on?
What am I dwelling on? What am I filling my heart and soul and head with? Like this is a personal battle.
Right.
So, when you and I sit here and we talk about these cultural things, when we talk about and make these strong statements, we have to take a step back, and you do a better job of this than me. We have to take a step back and be like, where's the log in my own eye? Where is the stuff in my own heart that I need to weed out and deal with?
For sure.
But
there's hope, dude. Like Christ is going to return and all will be made right. Like I cannot wait for the King of Kings and the one true God to return.
And that's the one passage I'm learning right now, that I'm memorizing, Romans 15:13, that in believing we have that hope, we have that peace, we have that joy. In believing by the power of the Holy Spirit, we have hope.
Yeah.
And if all I'm filling my mind with is the negative of this world, it's hard to have hope.
Yeah.
But if I'm filling my mind with the things of God and the things of His Word and the things of His eternal reign,
right.
Then I can have hope.
Yeah.
So
there's hope in Christ.
Yep. Romans 1:16, for I am not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes.
Believe.
We got to dwell on stuff like this.
Yeah.
Repent, believe. We got to dwell on it.
Yeah.
So, all right, here's Voddie.
In which we live, we live in the age of love is love, which is absolutely ridiculous. Love is love. What did you just say? You said nothing, right? That's like, it is what it is. What does that mean? So wait a minute, you're a Christian, right? So as a Christian, you're supposed to be all about love, right? God is love, right? Well, here these two people just love each other. How can you be opposed to love when we are directing our love in ways that God says are abhorrent? Then that love becomes sinful. And that sin is not washed away by us flippantly saying, well, love is love. Do not celebrate and rejoice with those who love the world and the things in the world. Love them enough to call them away from it. Love them enough to call them to repentance and faith. Love them enough to share with them their only hope and yours, which is the person and work of the Lord Jesus Christ, who laid his life down for sinners so that they might indeed know the God who is love.